First, the headlines. Minister Abdelkader Messahel received Sunday the UN envoy Christopher Ross here in Algiers. The FCE has chosen the first African country in Dakar, the Senegalese capital, to open a door to the economic investments in Africa. And a delicate operation to evacuate the tomb of Suleiman Shah, the grandfather of the former Ottoman Empire, to Turkey on the Syria-Turkey border appears to have gone smoothly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Dzair News and welcome to this English news edition. First, in our top stories, the Minister Delegate in charge of Maghreb and African Affairs, Abdelkader Messahel, received Sunday here in Algiers the personal envoy of the United Nations Secretary General of Western Sahara, Christopher Ross, who is now on a fresh tour of the region. The encounter took place at the premises of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Christopher Ross earlier held talks on Saturday with Foreign Minister Ramtan Lamamra. Algeria has chosen the first African country in Dakar, the Senegalese capital, to open a door to the economic investments. The members of the National Enterprises Forum, FCE, led by Mr. Ali Haddad, have asserted that Africa are the best consumers and have a big potential. Algeria is willing to truly invest in the African market and the south of the Sahara region. Siham Saado reports.
All the indications and statistics show that the return of the Algerian economy to Africa in collaboration with its counterparts, the African economic operators, has actively started. Algeria has opened the door to investment to 1.5 billion African consumers in the capital, Dakar.
The Senegalese are able to tackle efficiently several issues. We can develop long-lasting relations. That's why we are here. We have chosen our first visit to Senegal because it is a country we can work with. African richness must be exploited by Africans themselves.
Algeria is willing to invest in the African market and in the south of the Sahara, where the African investment needs to be developed.
This youth generation wants these projects to be achieved today with work and achievements to be part of the world. We had many failures in the past. The most important international enterprises do prefer investing in Africa rather than choosing other destinations because we have a very big potential here. Algeria plays a major role in the African economy. The head of the Enterprises Forum has worked out a strategic plan. In this Algeria-Africa conference, we wanted to mark the solid return of the Algerian economy to the African scene.
The economic participation of Algeria in the African market is high on the agenda of the FCE Forum members. The Algerian delegation will also pay working visits to other 7 African countries for the same purpose in the next few days.
The day of the 24th of February represents a lot for the Algerian policy because Algeria will be celebrating 2 main events at once. The first date marks the anniversary of the nationalization of hydrocarbons on the 24th of February 1971, and the second relates the creation of the General Union of Algerian Workers on the 24th of February 1956. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Abdelmalek Sellal will pay a working visit to the provinces of Oran and Ouargla, precisely to the area of Erzurum and Hassim Saoud, as part of the celebration of these events. Siham Saado again.
Algeria will be celebrating next Tuesday 2 main events. The first date marks the anniversary of the nationalization of hydrocarbons on the 24th of February 1971 and the establishment of the General Union of Algerian Workers on the 24th of February 1956, a historical date where Algeria won its economic independence and dominated its natural resources.
Today we are taking 50% from the French economic enterprises. We have decided to nationalize the natural gas of Algeria.
These 2 dates will be celebrated in the provinces of Oran and Ouargla, specifically in the area of Erzurum and Hassim Saoud. The government decided to establish official celebrations for the double event, while Prime Minister Abdelmalek Sellal is expected to visit this Tuesday the 2 cities to hold 2 meetings there. Meanwhile, the coordination of the democratic transitions calls from the province of Skikda, eastern Algeria, to protest and organize sit-ins in solidarity with the population of Ain Salah in southern Algeria, who appealed to the executive branch to stop the exploration of shale gas.
The 24th of February will be a sitting day. We have asked the citizens to support Ain Salah protests against the projected shale gas exploitation.
Prime Minister Abdelmalek Sellal will reply to these political parties who have chosen cleverly this marking date for seizing the opportunity to support the protesters of the south. The Ain Salah movement is calling for national mobilization and nationwide anti-shale gas marches. This is a very symbolic date for Algeria, marking the 44th anniversary for the nationalization of hydrocarbons.
In the controversial shale gas issue, almost 3 months have passed off, and the shale gas case has not yet known its settlement, as local citizens of Ain Salah in southern Algeria continue to show their discontent with street protests, urging the government to react and take immediate and clear decisions. Shakib Lawishi reports.
Tensions in the area of Ain Salah linger as protests against the exploitation of shale gas are still held in the city center. The protests entered their third month and coincided with the commemoration of the 44th anniversary of nationalization of the hydrocarbon sector. Fears has risen since protesters threatened to close the city, a concern that pushed authorities to strengthen security in the area. The rising protests and the anger displayed by the local population of Ain Salah put a lot of pressure on the government in order to take important decisions concerning the current worsening situation, in a period where Algeria will celebrate its 44th anniversary of the nationalization of the hydrocarbon sector.
With regard to the weather conditions here in Algeria, the National Meteorology Office issued a special weather forecast saying that heavy rainfall is expected to continue until Monday night in several provinces across the nation, including Ain Dafla, El Mdia, Blida, Tipaza, Algiers, Bouira, Tizi Ouzou, Ouargla and Ghardaya. Heavy snow blizzard is also expected in the central and eastern regions, 800 meters above sea level. In the same context, the severe weather turbulences in the last 48 hours prompted the civil protection squads to intervene in numerous western and southwestern regions, including the provinces of Shlif, Ghardaya and Bishar. The civil protection squads registered 15 flooding cases in Al Wadi province and 9 in Bishar, while a flock of 70 sheep were rescued from the surging waters. In other domestic news, a 3.4 tremor on Richter scale rattled the province of Stiv in eastern Algeria at 9:48 in the morning. According to the National Research Center for Astronomy and Geophysics, the epicenter of the earth tremor was located 19 kilometers southeast of Ain Azal area. The Minister of Housing and Town Planning, Abdelmajid Tebboune, is now in a 2-day working visit to the province of Ghardaya in southern Algeria. While in the province, the minister allotted a number of plots of land for people to build private dwellings. Mr. Boone also visited Nashu Valley locality, where he inspected the work progress before heading to the local university campus, as well as the Tifilat Castle, the new town known for its ancient architecture.
هي غردايا الحقيقة قطعت أشواط كبيرة فيما يخص السكن بالأخص.
Housing file in the province of Ghardaya has progressed in the last few years, and with the number of lands sent to be distributed, I think the housing crisis will fade in the near future. The circulating issues in the town will be addressed to eradicate this crisis.
In other local news, the Ministry of Interior and local assemblies set up mobile administrative offices for the southern community, allowing them to withdraw official documents and avoid the hassle of going to administrative premises, according to a statement made by the Director of Documentation Update at the Ministry, Abdelrazak Hani.
في يومين يعطوا له بطاقه تاعو ويعطوا له الباسبور تعود في اسبوع لان لازم محطه تهبط.
The operation usually takes 2 days to withdraw documents, whereas the passport usually takes a week. We have set up these offices for the southern community to facilitate their daily work, so instead of traveling to the administrative premises, now the citizens will have to go to these offices to withdraw their official documents.
In cultural related news, a warm tribute was paid Saturday here in Algiers by the Artistic and Cultural Association Third Millennium to Baya Al-Hashmi, Lamin Marbah and Ghouti Ben Dedouche, three great Algerian filmmakers who have contributed to the promotion of the seventh art in Algeria. The audience, which was relatively numerous at Mustafa Kateb Hall of the National Theatre Mhiddin Bashtarzi, came to express its gratitude to these artists and appreciate the performance of a galaxy of singers who interpreted different styles of the Algerian musical heritage. An evacuation of the exceptional career of the late actress Fatiha Berber, who has recently passed away, marked the beginning of the ceremony before letting the orchestra led by the conductor Sid Ali Kriou interpreting instrumental pieces in the Zidane musical style. International Mother Language Day is an observance that was held yesterday on the 21st of February worldwide to promote awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity and multilingualism. It was first announced by the UNESCO on the 17th of November 1999. Its observance was also formally recognized by the United Nations General Assembly in its resolution established in 2008 as the International Year of Languages. Shekib Lawishi.
People all over the world celebrated the interesting International Mother Language Day on the 21st of February 2015. The day was proclaimed by the General Conference of the United Nations Education's Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO in November 1999. International Mother Language Day has been observed every year since 2000 to promote linguistic and cultural diversity and multilingualism. The date represents the day in 1952 when students from different educational institutions such as Dakar University, Janagat University, and Dhaka Medical College North-South University demonstrated for recognition of their language, Bengali, as one of the two national languages of then Pakistan, were shot and killed by police in Dhaka, near High Court, which is the capital of present-day Bangladesh. For the United Nations, the pursuit of social justice for all is at the core of their global mission to promote development and human dignity. The adoption by the International Labour Organization of the Declaration on Social Justice for a Fair Globalization is just one recent example of the UN system's commitment to social justice. The declaration focuses on guaranteeing fair outcomes for all through employment, social protection, social dialogue, and fundamental principles and rights at work.
On the international news scene, a delicate operation to evacuate the tomb of Suleiman Shah, the grandfather of the founder of the former Ottoman Empire, to Turkey on the Syria-Turkey border appears to have gone smoothly. The Syrian government has said that Turkey informed Syria ahead of the major overnight military incursion, but did not await Syrian agreement to the action. Karim Fazakri reports.
Turkish soldiers guarding the tomb of Suleiman Shah, the grandfather of the founder of the Ottoman Empire, have been evacuated from Syria, Turkish Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu has announced. Although 37 kilometers across the border into Syria, the tomb lies in Turkish territory, according to a treaty signed in 1921 with France when it was ruling Syria. It is usually guarded by some 40 soldiers, who rotate periodically, but routes between the site and Turkey have been blocked for around 8 months, Turkish media states. The remains of the body were exhumed and the site destroyed. Prime Minister Davutoglu said Suleiman Shah's remains will now be moved to an area of Syria which is under the control of the Turkish military. 572 soldiers entered from the border town of Kobani to relieve the guards of their posts. It's a city Syrian Kurdish fighters took back from ISIL militants in January. Late in 2014, the Turkish government claimed ISIL militants were advancing on the side. Reports now suggest the overnight operation to withdraw troops was carried out because of this threat. The process was said to have been coordinated with the Syrian Kurds, a group heavily involved in the fight against the Islamic State militants. There were no armed clashes, although one Turkish soldier died in an accident at the beginning of the operation. From its side, the Syrian government has said that Turkey informed Syria ahead of a major overnight military incursion, but did not await Syrian agreement to the action. Syrian state TV described the incursion as flagrant aggression. Turkey goes beyond supporting ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra terrorist gangs to launch a blatant aggression on Syrian territory, state-run Sana News said, referring to the alternate name of ISIL.
In other world news, the Yemeni President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi has declared all actions taken by the Shia Houthis invalid and unconstitutional, and that he was upholding decision adopted by the National Dialogue and the agreement reached by Gulf Arab states for a political solution in the Arabian Peninsula nation. Karim Fazakri again.
Yemen's President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi has declared as invalid and unconstitutional all actions taken by the Shia Houthis after September 21st, when the group moved into Sana'a. Hadi said that he was upholding decisions adopted by the National Dialogue and the agreement reached by Gulf Arab states for a political solution in the Arabian Peninsula nation. He called on the international community to protect the political process. The statement was signed by Hadi as President of the Republic. Hadi will call on Parliament to meet in Aden, as powerful tribes in the southern provinces of Marib, Jawaf and Baida urged him to declare Sana'a an occupied city. An aide to Hadi said he remains the legitimate president and that he resigned under pressure from Houthis. Early on Saturday, Hadi managed to slip house arrest in Sana'a, the capital, and is now in his hometown of Aden. Hadi arrived in his power base in the south on Saturday afternoon, after he left his home in Sana'a, which was under siege from the Houthis. Following his return, Hadi held a meeting with the Security Council of Aden province to discuss the situation in the country. Security forces were on alert in Aden, where Hadi has strong loyalty among Sunni Muslims. Talks between the country's warring factions were immediately suspended after Hadi escaped house arrest. Jamal Ben Omar, the UN Special Envoy to Yemen, held an emergency meeting with Houthi leaders in Sana'a to discuss possible withdrawal of their fighters from the city to normalize the political situation. The news came as Houthi fighters opened fire on protesters in the central Yemeni city of Ib on Saturday, killing one person and wounding another. The crowd had gathered in a public square in Ib after a new power-sharing deal was reached on Friday to demonstrate against the Houthis' role in the overthrow of Hadi's government last month. Following the shooting, thousands more people took to the streets in protest. Witnesses said the Houthis were deploying more security forces in response.
And finally, in sports news, the Algerian First League squad of ES Sétif became the first Algerian side to win the CAF Super Cup trophy after beating Egyptian team of Al Ahly 6-5 on penalties on Saturday at the Mustafa Chakr Stadium in Blida. Black Eagles goalkeeper Abdelwahab Khdairiya saved the decisive kick from Ahly defender Bassam Mahmoud to propel the Sétif-based club to the historic feat after Ahly striker Imad Mit'ab had cancelled Abdelmalik Zia's 7th minute opener goal in stoppage time. The end of our English news edition brought to you from Dzair News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning our way. Bye-bye.